How have you learned to give a more effective South by Southwest panel or talk?
It really goes back to turning it into a conversation. I find the panel format, a solo talk, to be really sort of dead formats. And so what I've done in South by has two other structures, meetups and core conversations. And those are all structured as conversations. In fact, the meetup is you just simply show up and say, welcome to the meetup, and off they go, they talk. I do a little bit more than that because I facilitate the conversation with people to get them at least started, to know who's in the room. So I really like those two. I really don't like the panel and solo. So I did a solo this year, for example. I've done panels, I've done solo, I've done meetups and core conversations over the years. But when I do a solo, like I did one today, this time with 40 or 50 people in the room, we turn it into a conversation. And that way, we're just too used to, and this is the right way, which is we're too used to like being able to go back and forth on things. Like, I understand I'm going to listen to you blab on for 2 hours, and then I'm going to, well, okay, this is great point. I had a question like a while ago about that. So we're just used to that with the internet and everything else. So turning those monologues into dialogues and conversations with both me and them and them. Okay? The them and them conversation is actually more important. So how do you break people up into different ways? So for example, at this South by, first we broke people up into sharing their journeys with each other and one person actively listening to the other person's journey. Then we had this discussion about Austin as a journey city. So I broke them up into Austinites versus visitors. Right? And then what is Austin as a city to you? What are the visitors' reflections? So these different ways all of a sudden are creating cross conversations where people already have made 3 or 4 new connections. They've discovered and learned something. They walked away getting what they really want. South by is not about the content. That's what's really interesting to me. The content is what? It's a spur to a conversation. So I don't spend much time in talks or panels myself. I mean, I go to my panel, of course, I got to be there. But I don't do that because I can always catch the panel. If it was a great talk, like Springsteen gave one of the most amazing journey talks, by the way, right? It's on the web. Totally, everybody's got to watch that one if they are interested in journey. The content isn't the thing. It's actually asking people, hey, what did you see that was interesting? And what did it mean to you? And how did you engage with it? So to me, South by is convening conversations. That's why the parties are so important.